What the hell happened to the Celtics?
Welcome in, everyone, to another edition of the More Than Phillies Sports Talk Show. It's great to be here with you. We know a lot going on right now. We are going to cover as much as we can today, throughout today, tomorrow, and Monday. So stay tuned for some exciting stuff coming up here as we promote sports, unity, and everything between. With that being said, I'm bringing in my co-host, Gavin Tony. Gavin, as always, a pleasure to be here with you. Celtics are down 3-1. We're going to have to talk about that. The Phillies are giving us false promise. I don't know why. Jalen REAGOR is going to be out for a few weeks with an injury. We got all that to cover and a lot more today. But first, how are you?
I'm doing great, Zach. There's a lot going on in the world. Zach, we're going to talk about that a little bit later tonight, and then we're going to talk about it another day on the show. But regarding the sports, the Phillies are false advertising, like MLB show, and the Celtics are crumbling in front of our eyes. The Lakers are next. I'm doing great, Zach. How about you?
I don't know about that second part, but no, I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here. Like you said, we're doing our best. Everyone knows how we assess different situations here on the show, whether it be sports, whether it be real life issues, honestly. And we're going to do our best to continue to assess, again, providing factual information, allowing people to make their own opinions. And Gavin, you and I, we have had hours. Again, people don't realize we don't just sit here every day and speak on the show. We have a lot of off-camera conversations. We really should record those, honestly. But in all honesty, it's just having healthy conversations, doing what we can. And so, with that being said, what unites us all, Gavin, it's sports, and we're going to have to talk about it. Like you said, you are not sounding happy at all with Boston right now. They are down 3-1 to the Miami Heat. I mean, should we be surprised? You had the Heat win this series in 7 or 6, I think, and I had Boston at one point winning this series, but I don't know right now. We know the emotional crumble that the Celtics had after Game 2. They came out and won Game 3. Last night, Jason Tatum held scoreless in the first half, 28 in the second half. That's heck of impressive, in all honesty, but it was too little, too late. The team continued, the Miami Heat, that is, continued to go off. Tyler Hero is a serious problem, Gavin, and in all honesty, we just got to cover it all, unwind it, and see what happens here. Jaylen Brown had a good night. Kemba Walker starting to play more iso ball, like we said. We noticed in games 1 and 2. We don't know what's going on right now. So we got to figure that all out. Gavin, what is happening to the Celtics right now?
I'm going to tell you what's happening, Zach. One-on-one basketball is happening. What I mean by that, Zach, is it looks like they're not playing team basketball. Like I said yesterday on the show, the other day on the show. Yes, Kobe Bryant says there's an M and E in team, but there is no I in team. And the problem is they're playing a lot of I basketball. They're playing a lot of old school basketball where it was get the ball from Michael and get the hell out the way. That's not winning you games right now, as you can see. Zach, they're playing different basketball right now. And what I mean by that is look at the Heat, right? The Heat are getting Bam Adebayo involved. They're getting Tyler Hero, who had 37 points, 20 years old, having 37 points a rookie year.
Goran Dragic.
Gordon Dragic is involved. Duncan Robinson's getting involved. There's many more people getting involved, too, and I know I'm missing some. Jimmy Butler, the head man, the ringleader, Eric Spoelstra, arguably coach of the year. You see who's getting involved. But nobody else is getting involved for the Celtics. It's the same 4 people, maybe even 5 at sometimes. And Kemba Walker hasn't been efficient, and Jason Tatum held to 0 points in the first half. Zach, I can score more than 0 points in the first half.
Yeah, he was 0 for 6. I mean, it was not pretty for him. But I do want to say here, Gavin, as you had pointed out here, getting guys involved tends to be a thing. I said yesterday, Jimmy Butler's overdue for a good night. 24 points on 40% shooting, 8 for 20, a steal, a block, 3 assists, and 9 boards to go along with that. Again, guys like Crowder and Duncan Robinson, not that much of a night. But Bam Adebayo, 20 and 12. He was holding his wrist towards the end of the game. We're hoping that's nothing serious for him. He's a really talented up-and-coming star. In addition to that, Goran Dragic, 22 points. Tyler Hero, 37. Again, Iguodala not doing so great. But only, 3 guys. I mean, Jamison Crowder, Tyler Hero, surprisingly, -4 on this game, as well as Andre Iguodala, -4. But the rest of the team, +11, +8, +6. And they won by 3. It really should have won by 6. It was a last-minute 3 that didn't really matter. So the scoreboard doesn't really show the whole story. It was, in all honesty, and again, I'll go in a second here, Miami was in control that whole game. Boston had the lead for a slight little bit in the late second half, but Miami really was in control for most of this game, and that's been the theme in this whole series.
Well, Zach, you're right. The score doesn't show justice, but you got to go back to in the fourth quarter. They had a lot of stupid reviews regarding to led the points, whether it was 3, where it was a 3, and then there was another where it turned into a fast break for Boston that made the score closer than it really should have been. It really should have been a 10-point loss, in my honest opinion. But, Zach, I'm also going to be honest with you as well. The Heat didn't commit a turnover in the fourth quarter.
They had 2 in the second half, I think. 2 total.
Yeah, 2 in the second half earlier. But Zach, that's fantastic. That's great basketball. And like I said, the reviews are the only thing that doesn't show justice. Jimmy Butler was +6. James Crowder, excuse me, Jay Crowder is negative or -6. Bam Adebayo is +8. Duncan Robinson is +2. Gordon Dragic is +11. Zach, these are outstanding numbers for an outstanding team and a well-coached team.
No doubt. I mean, like we said, Butler doesn't have to drop 40 and 50 a night the way some of these teams do. They're a really balanced team, and they're going to give whoever comes out of the Western Conference Final a run for their money without a doubt. But let's not sleep on Boston yet. Again, the series isn't over. It's 3-1. It wouldn't shock me if Boston can win one more, possibly push to a Game 7. But Jaylen Brown, 21 points. He was a 57% last night. Jason Tatum, 45%. Again, most of his field goals came in this, or all of his made field goals came in the second half. Marcus Smart only shot 25%. I got to ask you this question, though, Gavin. This is really important now. Gordon Hayward is as healthy as he's going to be. Is it time to take Smart out of the lineup and put Hayward back in?
If this was a year after his leg injury, I would say no. But Gordon Hayward is here. This is the Utah Gordon Hayward is somewhat back, not fully back, because that Utah Gordon Hayward was dropping 20+ points. But Zach, you got to move Marcus Smart from the line. He's not an offensive guy. Yes, he had 11 assists, but offensively, he's not the all-around offensive guy. He's more of a defensive guy. So you got to get your offensive power. You're down 3-1 to a team that's not supposed to be doing this right now. But they're well coached and they're well playing basketball. Zach, I think this series is over.
We'll see what happens again. I'm thinking personally on Friday, Boston will win that game, and then over the weekend, I think that Miami will close it up. So with that being said, Gavin, we're going to go over to the other conference, which plays tonight, the Western Conference Final. Now, I don't know from the Lakers right now. I don't want to go down. I don't want to get tied up at 2-2, but I'm kind of scared to go up 3-1 over the Nuggets. But in our reality, the Nuggets able to win a very good game in Game 3, unlike the Celtics, who won a very close one in Game 3. It was the Nuggets have hung around. Except for Game 1. Game 2, they hung around. Game 3, they took the victory. Gavin, tonight, Game 4 for the Nuggets and the Lakers. Who are you taking tonight?
I'm taking the Nuggets, obviously, Zach, because I think the Nuggets found their groove. And the reason why I say obviously, Zach, not to be rude or anything, but what is the way to win playoff basketball, Zach? Get others involved. Others have to do it besides your stars. Morris, for the Denver Nuggets, he came off the bench and dropped 14. 14. Jeremy Grant gave them 26 as well. And then you got your Nikola Jokic with your 22 and 10. And then you got Jamal Murray with 28 and 12. 28, 12, 28, 12, 8 and 12. Excuse me. You're not going to beat that. You got Michael Porter Jr. with 9 points, 9 and 6. He had a couple big threes as well. Zach, in order to beat the Lakers, you're going to have to shoot better than the Lakers. And you're also going to have to get others involved and get others to score. You're going to have to outscore the Lakers as well. You have to shoot better and outscore them as well.
Yeah, without a doubt, you've made that pretty clear. But I mean, I'll put it this way. I'm taking the Lakers tonight, and here's why. I like the superstars on Denver. I like their role players. But I trust the role players, and I trust the coaching a little bit more and the experience on the Lakers side. Coming off of the loss, they've gotten their kind of alert check, reality check, where it's like, all right, the series is not going to be easy. And you really can't take this team lightly. They just beat the Clippers. They came back 3-1. They beat the Jazz, another good team. Here's the reality for that situation. Jamal Murray is going to have hot and cold nights. If it's a hot night, there's still a way to win. But I trust the role players. I trust that Rondo or Caruso or Kentavious Caldwell-Pope or Kuzma to have a big night. That is the key for them to win. It's only one. 1 out of 4 players. McGee needs to do his job. Him and Dwight Howard, both with minimal minutes. They were struggling. Anthony Davis has been playing more of that stretch 5. I think they need to make this work. They need to have their big men operate. And when I say the big men, I don't mean Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis needs to play the 4 for this team to be good. You need JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard to be able to defend Jokic. You need them to be able to do that. Anthony Davis will be on the most of the game. But unfortunately, some of the situations where you're going to have some bad switches and guys like Jamal Murray are able to score, or if you get other guys open and available, then it's going to be a close game. But I'm going to take the Lakers tonight. I think LeBron has a good night again like he did. But I think one player, and I'm going to say it's Kuzma. I think Kyle Kuzma can put up 20 points. And I think that Rondo's going to come back because they had one bad game. Consistency is key. And if you have one bad game and you're known to come back from it, you're going to be fine. However, that puts the Nuggets down 3-1. We've seen that before, and I think that they will make this series very exciting depending on what happens tonight. But, Gavin, this is the most important game in the series. When you're up 2-1 or you're down 2-1, it can become a 3-1 series or a 2-2 series. I think whoever wins tonight arguably possibly wins the series, and that means the Nuggets have a good chance here.
Well, Zach, it really should be a 2-2 series. I mean, think about going back to the game the Nuggets lost. to make the Lakers go 2-1. Zach, or excuse me, it should be a 1-2 series in the Nuggets' favor because if Mason Plumlee actually guards Anthony Davis, that shot doesn't go in. If he doesn't stop at LeBron James, who's clearly not moving, it's a different series. It's 2-1 or 1-2 excuse me, in the Nuggets' favor. But because that didn't happen, it's 1-2 in a late or 2-1 in the Lakers' favor. I think the Nuggets win tonight and arguably go on to play in 7, and we'll see from there.
Yeah, it'd be exciting to see a team like Denver return to the NBA Finals. With that being said, coming up after this, yes, can the Phillies make the playoffs? They're playing the AL East champions for the first time in a long time, the Tampa Bay Rays, flashbacks from the 2008 World Series. And then finally today, the Stanley Cup final, getting interesting for sure with their Tampa team. And then finally, we'll be talking about football, Thursday night preview, Jacksonville Jaguars and Miami Dolphins. I guess it will
Nobody wants to watch that.
I guess it will be fun to watch or something. I don't know. We'll get to all
The beer
that.
versus the mustache.
We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewers' choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes 2 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, and finally, $1 from every mask sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children in need. Enjoy today's episode.
Welcome back. Before we do get to, I do have an interesting storyline here, Gavin. I'll get your thoughts on this too. From John Clark, I'm hearing one of the reasons, along with coaching, that Sixers have a lot of interest in Mike D'Antoni. The feeling is some in the organization think he could help lure James Harden to Philadelphia. Harden becomes a free agent in 2 years, and there's a possibility of a trade. That'd be interesting. Quick thought on that before we get over to the Phillies.
and Zach, guess what? We're going to get LeBron and Giannis to come here too, and Curry.
The Knicks thinking they're getting people every year.
I will say this. Well, first of all, don't get started on the Knicks.
All right. Back to the Sixers.
No one wants to go to that garbage mess. Listen, real quick, Zach. I was talking to Dom yesterday, and Dom, a great friend of the show, me and we had a great talk about basketball coaching job. He said if Mike D'Antoni were to come here, it's his job to lose. It's his job to lose. Meaning, they're going to give you all the assets. You can't trade with Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons. You're going to make it work with those guys.
I agree, and a good shooter would work. I don't know if James Harden's the guy, but that's just an interesting quick story I read. We'll see what happens. We'll be here on the show every day from now till hopefully the Sixers have a NBA Finals trophy. We'll be continuing with that. But with that being said, Gavin, let's talk about it. The Phillies, big win yesterday over the Washington Nationals. You should have won more games than that, as I always do, pulling up the standings. They're currently tied for second place in the 8th seed, I believe, or maybe the 7th seed. I'll have to check how that works. But the Phillies currently 28-29. They're actually a half game back of the Marlins now since the Marlins won last night. Gavin, there's a chance. All right, the Phillies are close to making the playoffs. You have 3 games left. Tomorrow, Sunday, and Saturday. I know we mixed up the days there, but in the weekend series. Can the Phillies get the sweep or at least get 2 games and possibly make a serious playoff push?
Why do they false advertise, Zach? Every year they do the same thing. Same thing. They think they're going to come out here and do this great. Oh, we get Didi Gregorius. Oh, we get JT Realmuto. By the way, can we pay him, please? All right, Matt Klentak. I know you're not the brightest man on the earth, but can you at least do that one move and stop worrying about Sixto Sanchez and how great he is? All right, let's do that for once. Zach, let me calm down for a second. I don't think the Phillies are going to win 2 out of 3 games. You know why? Because this team, this Rays team, Zach, has been the best team in the AL all year long. They beat the Yankees, all right, with pitching. Blake Snell, okay, Charlie Morton, excuse me, and then they're hitting, Zach, Brandon Lau, okay. I can't say the first baseman's name, but you know what his name is. His name is difficult to say, ladies and gentlemen. But their bullpen is pretty good as well. Zach, Castillo's is throwing 100 out of the bullpen still? What? And you're thinking about getting a series sweep or anything? That's not happening. We're not going to get the majority. We're going to go home and we're going to fire Matt Klentak. And by the way, JT Realmuto is going to throw up the peace sign and leave because he doesn't want to deal with us no more. By the way, Zach, if I may say, we should have went to the Pandemic Crew. They have a nice little left field spot with it's actually kind of cool. I was watching a video on it.
With the fire contact stuff.
Always, he has to go because look, Zach. If I go to the game, I would. If I would go to the game, I'm gonna make a sign that says, "If Clintek's here next year, I'm protesting Phillies games. I will not go to another game." And I advise every Phillies fan to not go until Clintek is fired.
We'll see what happens. Next 4 games for Miami: Atlanta, Yankees, Yankees, Yankees. I'll leave it at that. There's a chance. There's a chance. I'm sorry. There is. I have to.
You gotta win. You gotta win.
The Phillies own their destiny, in my opinion. Here, they pretty much own it. So I have to see.
Their job to lose. It's their job to lose.
Without a doubt. And speaking of Tampa, we are going to talk about now Stanley Cup coverage. Tampa Bay Lightning up 2-1 in the series after winning 5-2 yesterday. Gavin, what are your thoughts here on this? Can Dallas come back in this series, even it up, or else? I mean, next game, like I said, this next game, Lightning can go up 3-1, or the Stars can tie it up at 2.
I don't think the Dallas Stars are going to be able to tie it up. They might. I think what's going to happen is Tampa's going to win this next one, go up 3-1, and then Dallas wins 3-2. But ultimately, Tampa's going to win 4-2. Zach, this Tampa Bay offense is fantastic. Steven Stamkos is back. All right, did you see what Steven Stamkos did to Dallas the other night? He just obliterated Dallas.
They're an offensive powerhouse.
Exactly. And now Stamkos is back. There's no chance of Dallas Stars anymore.
We'll see what happens. Gavin, I got to ask you, is Tampa the city to be a fan of right now? You got how many teams down there that are all contenders in their championships? The Lightning are in the Stanley Cup. The Rays are one of the best teams in baseball. The Buccaneers might be good. We don't know yet. On paper, they are. I don't know if they have another team. I guess you can call the Miami Heat their team on the other side of the state. Maybe not. I don't even know who the closest team to them in Florida is. Maybe
It will be Orlando.
Orlando. All right, yeah, Orlando's terrible. So outside of basketball, Tampa's having an exciting year in sports.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Tampa may be the spot to be as a fan, but it sure as hell ain't going to be no fan of the Philadelphia sports right now. Eagles are 0-2. The Phillies are disappointment. You don't know what the hell the Sixers are going to be this year. And don't get me started on the Union and the Flyers. All right, the Flyers are spared for right now, Zach. They did their job, all right? But, Zach, Tampa, it might be the spot to be right now, but I still think there's might be some other cities to be fans of right now. L.A.,
Los Angeles looking good unless you're a Clippers fan. But with that being said, here coming up next, Thursday night football preview. Again, why do we report on it? I don't know. But Dolphins and Jaguars. I'll give you my keys tonight and what will be exciting to look out for, and then we'll get predictions, and then we'll wrap up today's edition of the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show. Stay tuned.
Would you like to know how you can support the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show? If so, head down to the comments on our YouTube channel. You will see 2 links there. The first is our Teespring, where you can see a wide variety of apparel products, including our signature product, the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show sweatshirts, offered in a variety of different colors, including gray, navy blue, and more. Finally, we have our Patreon page, where you can become a monthly donation member. 10% of all donations go towards an organization of our viewers' choice. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you can't donate, that's okay, because you can always share this.
Welcome back, everyone, and we're going to continue. As Gavin said, yes, it is our job, and part of my job is not pressing the incorrect topic to go on. But in all seriousness, the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars, both teams that are one team that tanked last year, got their quarterback this year, a team that is attempting to tank, but their quarterback won't let them. They lost 33-30 to the Titans, Gavin, remember, and then they beat the Colts the week before. I'm taking Jacksonville tonight. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, though. I'm going to probably say it's going to be like 38-30. Honestly, I'm taking a high-scoring game. It's going to be exciting to watch. 2 teams with bad defenses. However, both teams have good offensive potential, whether it's on coaching on Miami's side or talent on Jacksonville's side. Byron Jones is out tonight as well, so definitely going to be easier for Jacksonville to get out there and operate. It's going to be nice to watch Jordan Howard, Matt Breida in that backfield. They got another guy, Mike Gesicki's another tight end to look at. He's been pretty talented this year, coming out of Penn State a few years ago. Gavin, what are some of your thoughts on this game here in Florida tonight?
Well, Zach, I think when you talk about teams to beat, or not teams to beat, or teams that made a lot of improvement, it's the Miami Dolphins. And I'm riding with the Dolphins tonight because there's a guy with a big beard, not mine. There's a guy with a big beard in Miami named Ryan Fitzpatrick. And he's high cold. Fitzmagic is the first 2-week king, all right? He does his job the first 2 weeks, and you can forget about the other 14 weeks because he's never there. But, Zach, you talk about Mike Gesicki, however you want to say it, and then you got Devontae Parker, you got Jordan Howard, which the Eagles should have kept. In my honest opinion, him and Miles Sanders would have been a great backfield. But Zach, they drafted Tua Tagovailoa, and I'm waiting to see Tua come out. This would be a great game for Tua to come out. Obviously, not the best defense on the other side, but Zach, I'm riding with the Dolphins. You're right. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I think when it comes to the offense of Miami Dolphins, you got to look at the run game and a little bit in the wide receivers. They got great guys all around. They got underrated weapons, and defensively too. I know Byron Jones is out, but Zach, Miami's going to be up and coming team in the long run.
And they had a great coach, in my opinion. With that being said, Gavin, what are your predictions for score tonight?
I'm thinking 31-28, but Jacksonville goes up 14-0, and it's going to be a little comeback for Miami to start.
Is it going to be a game-winning field goal?
I hope not, because I just want to see a touchdown.
All right, we'll see what happens. With that being said, we do have some more reports before we get to our final information on the day of the Eagles rookie wide receiver Jalen Reagor. Before we get to that, Tyrod Taylor last week was a late game scratch due to a punctured lung. It was reported that a doctor accidentally did it while inserting a painkiller into a cracked rib. So he already was suffering with an injury, and then the medical error on top of that, which forced Justin Herbert into play. We talked about Herbert on Monday. He's looked really good so far. He's going to start again this week. Just unfortunate to happen to Tyrod Taylor. He's gotten the short end of his stick a bunch of times in his career. Was out in Cleveland before Baker took over from an injury from him, and same thing here in Los Angeles. But right now they're looking like Justin Herbert might be the guy there. But back to Tyrod Taylor, that's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate to hear, and hopefully he'll be able to have a good recovery.
Well, Tyrod Taylor's best days was in Buffalo with him and Sammy Watkins and LaShawn McCoy in his backfield. But Zach, remember, Tyrod Taylor's a Super Bowl champion. Those who may or may not know, he was the backup quarterback on that Ravens team when they won to Joe Flacco. So he is a Super Bowl champion. So you talk about short the stick, that's for sure. I wish him a speedy recovery. But Zach, I gotta ask you this: you are a doctor in the NFL, or a team doctor, or you're relative, you're on the Chargers. How does that happen? How do you puncture somebody's lung? I know people aren't perfect, Zach. I know I'm not perfect. No one's perfect in life. But that's a really bad mess up. And you're talking about from maybe cracked ribs to maybe like, all right, you're bruised, maybe you're going to be hurt for a couple weeks, to now you're going to be out for a couple weeks. That's a horrible mess up, Zach. And I wouldn't be surprised if when that doctor loses his job, because that's like I said, that's horrible.
Yeah, no doubt. The Eagles have to figure out with all the injuries they have. And speaking of that, we are going to get to that topic. Injuries continue to pile on. Jalen Reagor has suffered a torn UCL. For those who don't know, it is in the thumb. And Drew Brees also suffered the same injury last year that kept him out for 5 weeks. And getting to Reagor here, he's expected to be 5 to 7 weeks. They said they also have heard some reports of 2 weeks. So we're not sure what to believe for the timeline. But we're saying right now probably 5 to 7 weeks is a pretty conservative estimate of how long he might be out. So, Gavin, I mean, the Eagles already, I don't know what to say anymore. They failed to get a veteran receiver in the offseason. Again, that has nothing to do with the fact that Carson Wentz is missing basic throws. But something's got to be figured out tomorrow. We'll talk about the preview between them and the Bengals, which it wouldn't shock me if the Bengals won. But, Gavin, what are your thoughts on this news with Jalen Reagor being out?
Marcus Goodwin, can you please decline your opt-out and come back and play? We need you. Carson Wentz needs something. Hell, Carson Wentz needs that to pass, Zach. I think you would agree with that, too. Jalen Reagor is going to be you're going to miss him. He didn't really do much his first 2 games. Second game was better than his first, obviously. But, Zach, I mean, it's just add on to the list of this team that continues to be crushed by the injury bug. I know 49ers fans will say, well, what about us? We got it too, but you guys went to the Super Bowl last year, and everybody was happy for you last year. This team's been hurt ever since the pandemic and early when Brandon Brooks goes down in July or late June, one of the 2 months. But, Zach, will it ever end for this team when it comes to injuries? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I really don't. You got guys like Allen Robinson on the trade wire, but until Carson Wentz proves that the only thing he needs is weapons, then I'm not going to be concerned with getting him anymore. He's got enough to work around, and we got to see what happens. I don't know. I really don't know. Tomorrow, again, we'll talk about the Bengals game, but I really don't know right now what to say about Carson Wentz's performance. He is arguably the worst quarterback he is statistically in the league right now. So Got to figure it out, man. Got to figure out whether it's play calling, whether it's coaching adjustments. Defensively, we need some adjustments. Jim Schwartz has been absolutely awful this year with this team. We'll see what happens because we're playing a rookie.
There's also, Zach,
What's
there's
that?
also, sorry to cut you off, there's also a stat that actually this offensive line isn't the worst when it comes to pass protection. They're ranked 5th. So it's actually Brother Wentz in the backfield that's actually making the offensive line look bad going back to Washington. You got to learn how to throw the ball away.
Well, that game I think it was a struggle, but with Aaron Donald on that line, this team on Sunday, the O line really did show up.
Exactly. So can we really blame the offensive line? I don't think so. Week 1, yes, but week 2, I don't think so.
And finally, here right now, we do have a ESPN article that came out ranking the 0-2 teams. I'm going to read them all off, and I will get down to our team as well. 0-2 teams ranking them their chances, coming in at 11th as the worst team with the least chance of the playoffs. The Jets, no surprise there. Coming in number 10, the Broncos, again with the injuries, not surprised there. Coming in number 9, the Miami Dolphins. Number 8, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 7, the Detroit Lions with a 4.3% playoff chance currently. They're pretty healthy, so I mean, not much excuses there.
And
Panthers coming in at 6.
You picked them to win the division, by the way.
I did. I might be going back on that. We don't know yet. There's still a chance. I'll assess that in a few weeks. New York Giants coming in at number 5. The Vikings, Gavin, coming in at number 4 with a 16.8% playoff chance, which is one of the highest on this list. Do you think the Vikings bounce back this week?
No, they do not.
They're done.
They're done. And it's because Kirk Cousins in the backfield. This guy has not what everybody made him, the hype around him. Do you like that? No, Vikings fans do not like that, Kirk. And here's why. He has not beat a team over 500 at all in his career, Zach. And it's a known fact. And in order to keep the Eagles out of the playoffs the year when Nick Foles took over the Helms, Zach, he didn't beat the Bears to go to the playoffs and make sure the Eagles don't go, and we end up going. Thank you again. But, Zach, I don't see them making playoffs. This team is also injured. They lost. And the loss of Stephon Diggs actually is really going to hurt them.
I agree. I don't think anyone can really cover that. And then number 3, the Atlanta Falcons with a 12% chance of making it. Gavin, do the Falcons bounce back, or are they kind of a lost cause at this point until they move on from their coach?
You got to get rid of Dan Quinn, and I'm not calling for Matt Ryan's job yet, but Dan Quinn, that was horrible. You had a bigger lead again, and you lost it again. This time to arguably a horrible team. I can't say they're horrible because they got to win and we don't. But, Zach, you got to get away from your coach before you can make the playoffs.
Coming in at number 2 here, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll read the little blurb here of what it says. Of all the teams on this list, the Eagles might be the ones whose fans thought they would at least be least likely to begin the year 0-2 when the schedule was released and every fan went through it, marking off wins and losses for the upcoming season. There is an Eagles fan on the planet who suggested they would lose to Washington in week 1. The matchup with the Rams in week 2 was tougher, but Philadelphia was at home against a team traveling to the East Coast for an early Sunday kickoff, and the Eagles beat the Rams in 2017 and 18. Instead, the Eagles have been a disaster. It's not saying that they're 0-2 is going to be that bad, but it supported them for so long. It was only genuine complaint to the system that bugs Philadelphia favors. Ranked Doug Peterson and the team as the worst through two games. Yes, worse than the Jets, Panthers, Bengals, and Lions. Something is broken with the Eagles. They don't expect to be the worst team in football 2 weeks in, but right now it's a struggle, Gavin. And again, defense has been a disaster. Carson Wentz has not been doing his job, and like we've talked about before, there's just an abundance of issues with this team. So that kind of sums it up for you.
Is it the coach or is it Wentz, Zach? I blame the coaching. I know you're on Carson Wentz. I also blame Carson Wentz as well. Is it the front office? What's the problem? Why is Wentz progressing? Zach, there should be no reason why we shouldn't be 1-1 right now. I give it to the Rams. We should have lost to the Rams. The Rams are the better team defensively and maybe offensively. The schedule doesn't get easier. Baltimore is coming. Okay? Baltimore is coming. San Francisco, they're not going to have half of their players, so they're still coming, though. Zach, who are we blaming for this? A lot of people blame Wentz. ESPN blames Wentz. Our club, our sports debate club, guys, come join us. They blame Wentz. I blame Wentz and Doug Peterson, but who's the real blame?
We'll have to figure it out. That's our debate tomorrow, everyone. And then finally on that list, the Houston Texans. We'll have to see if they bounce back. But again, Gavin, tomorrow, Friday, we'll recap Thursday Night Football. We'll recap the Nuggets and Lakers as well as preview the Heat and Celtics for tomorrow night. And then finally, we'll cap it off with our predictions of the NFL games, including our Philadelphia Eagles, and discuss Carson Wentz or Doug Peterson if we had to separate from one of them. And I'll continue to, we have to do our research and figure out what the heck is going on with this team. With that being said, everyone, we hope that you all have a good day despite all the negativity.
Real quick, Zach.
Sports. And what's that, Gavin, to wrap it up?
Real quick, I just want to say, because there's a little news. Alex Gordon from Zach. I remember you said Kansas City had. Alex Gordon from the Kansas City winning team, baseball team, is retiring after 14 seasons.
Really?
So yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah, he won the World Series with the Royals back in 2015.
So congratulations to him on a successful career, and we wish him nothing but the best. Senor Tyrod Taylor. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you all, and unite through sports. Remember, and have a great day.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded of when we go live and when we post excerpts of our videos. Again, thanks for watching.